So welcome to another Wednesday night. We can start standing today. And actually, we're going to start standing with our feet comfortably distanced, so nice and wide, and just let your arms start swinging side to side. Start to get loose and feel yourself arrive in this space, this beautiful place where you get to focus on you, because the world needs your gifts. It needs you to show up and be your best. So this is our time for us, some self-care time. And let's simply just start to breathe in and rise those arms up. And exhale out. Maybe even bend your knees a little bit. Really get into it. Inhale, rise up. Exhale out. And this time, as we inhale, get a nice deep breath, feel your lungs expand, and then out your mouth, side out. One more, just like that, big inhale. And let go of the day, the week, side out. All right, let's shake things out a little bit. Let's get out some stuck energy. Any? Hello, Dave. Thanks for joining. And we are going to take a big inhale, rise your arms up, and then just reach over to the left with that right arm up. And find some length to that whole right side of your body. Then inhale up, exhale over the other way. And try to shine your heart up towards the sky a little bit more. Good. Big inhale, rise up. This time, hands interlace behind your back and open up through your chest, broaden through your collarbones. Maybe even bring the palms of your hands together if they touch, or don't worry about it. Good, and then start to let go of those hands, walk your feet heel toe in. And bring your hands over your heart. And let's just find all four corners of our feet on the ground. Feel yourself rooted. Have a slight bend to your knees. And let your shoulders fall down and back. And a little bit of a tuck to your chin, so you have a nice long neck. And as we land here, let's take a moment to scan our bodies. How are we feeling right now in this moment? Notice your feet on the floor. Notice any areas of energy flowing through you or areas of tightness or blockages. And just be an observer. And start to breathe into those spaces that a little bit more openness, a little bit more space. And let's invite for our practice tonight the healing energy of breath, or prana. In yogi terms, it's our life force, it's air, it's breath. And let's breathe in some love. And let's breathe in some wisdom. And if an intention arises for you tonight, use this time to set that intention now. And that could simply be to use that wise guide inside to do what you need to do tonight to feel absolutely amazing. And when you're ready, I'm going to come to the top of my mat, wherever you're comfortable. We're going to take a big inhale and reach up as high as you can, maybe adding a bit of an arch backwards if that feels okay with that. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips and start to fold forward. Good. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, finding nice long length in your spine. And exhale, maybe bend your knees a little bit more and fold a little deeper. Get a root of your feet and inhale, rise all the way up, adding that little bit of a back arch. And exhale, let your hands come down through heart center and then to your sides. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, flowing with your breath, rise up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your neck. And exhale, fold a little deeper. Good, root your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center and to your sides. Last time. Make it feel really good, really juicy. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward to the bottom of your breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let something go. And inhale, rise up, look towards your fingers.
I was afraid to interrupt.
Oh, no.
There we go.
I know, me too. I thought, oh, there's a problem.
I think we lost her.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It happens to all of us.
Oh,
Okay,
where
now
were we when you lost me?
we were, I guess, just forward folding and coming out of the forward fold.
Okay, for the third time?
Yeah, third time.
Okay, well, let's, sorry about that. All right, big inhale. Let's come back to where we were. And come down into that forward fold. Okay. And let's just grab opposite elbows. Bend your knees a lot if you want a little bit more space. And just let gravity pull you down here. Shake your head, yes and no. Okay. And when you are ready, you can plant your hands down onto the floor, and we are gently going to step back into a downward facing dog. So spread those fingertips wide. Some people like to have nice wide hands, so wider than shoulders. And take a moment to walk out your dog, bending one knee at a time. Noticing how you feel. And then maybe finding a little bit of stillness here. In your dog, you want your shoulders down and back, and you're energetically squeezing your arms towards each other. And that helps take any unneeded weight in your wrists out of that and in your shoulders. You can bend your knees here and lift your tailbone a little higher, really finding length in your spine. And then if there's space, then you can start lengthening your legs and bring your heels to the floor. Take one more breath here. And then sigh out your mouth. Let that go. And on your next inhale, we're going to start to ripple forward into a high plank. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. And exhale here. And maybe you see someone else in the room or see yourself on your computer and you're just like, yeah, I'm awesome. You're all awesome, even though I can't see you right now. And then take one more big inhale. And we're going to lower down. You can definitely bring your knees to the floor first. And nice, slow exhale, lowering down to your belly. Untuck your toes. Roll your shoulders back. And let's do 3 baby cobras. So using your low back, inhale, lift up. Chest comes off the floor. And exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. These can get really small. Maybe even float your hands off the floor now. Good. And then exhale, lower down. And we're going to push back into a child's pose for a few breaths. So knees come wide, toes together. Let those hips really sink down. Maybe bringing your forehead to the floor. And whatever's bubbled up, just let that go. Melt down. This is a great place to come to at any point if you feel like you need gentler practice or a little bit of a rest. Always listen to that wise guide inside. And slowly start to walk your hands forward, and then let your hands walk over to the left, even off your mat if you have it, and start to pull back your right hip, opening up through your right side body. And slowly walk those hands back through center and over to the right off your mat maybe, and bring your left hip back. Finding space to that left side body, your intercostal muscles. And walking those hands back through center. We're going to come up into a tabletop. So hands come below your shoulders, knees below hips. And we'll do a few cat-cows. So as you exhale, you round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your head and your tail. And exhale, round your spine. And inhale. Moving with your breath. Make it feel really good in your body. Okay. Of course, because we're doing cat. One of my cats is here. Gonna take 2 more cycles of breath. And on your next inhale, let's find that neutral spine. And we're going to bring our right leg back behind us. Lift it up and see if you can maintain the same tabletop shape. So you're not shifting side to side. You simply just lifted that leg up. And you feel balance, float your left arm forward. Keeping your toes pointed towards the ground. Let's inhale, lift a little higher. Then exhale, bring your elbow and knee together to touch. Good. Inhale, reach. And kind of cat. And exhale, squeeze, elbow and knees together. Big inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Last time. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, lower down. Good. Other side. Left leg comes behind you. Again, see if you can keep the neutral spine. So nice flat back. Maybe drop your left hip slightly. And then float your right arm forward. Good. Inhale, let's lift a little higher. Feel like you're being pulled in opposite directions. Then exhale, elbow and knee come to touch. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. That's it. Nice long neck. Keep looking down towards the floor as you inhale. Exhale, engage your core. Last time, big inhale, reach long, and then exhale, lowering back down to your tabletop. We're going to take our right foot and swivel it out perpendicular, and bring your left foot to the back edge of your mat, reaching that whole side edge of your foot down to the ground. And maybe your right hand comes forward slightly. As you inhale, come into a modified side plank. So reaching all the way from that back edge of your back foot out through those fingertips. Finding that left hip rise up to the sky. And then maybe, if you want to add a little more strength here, a little bit more, lift your left leg up to the sky. And hold here, or bending your knee and see if you can grab your ankle and come into a quadricep stretch. So flexing your foot, and maybe even kicking your foot into your hand to add a little bit more of a stretch to that front thigh and hip flexor, and maybe even a bit of a back bend here if that feels okay in your body. As you inhale, release your bind, and then exhale, come back into your tabletop. Whew. All right, we have our other side to do. Swivel your left foot out and bring your right foot to the back edge of your mat. Maybe your left hand comes forward slightly. Big inhale, reach up and over into your modified side plank, finding a stretch all the way through the side of your body. If you did so on the other side, you can lift your right leg up perpendicular to the ground, or sorry, parallel to the ground, that's the word. And then if you want to bend your knee, grab your ankle, and pull your foot back into a quad stretch. Really important, you keep your foot in line with your hip so that your knee is not bent in weird ways here. Maybe even kicking your foot into your hand and adding a bit of an arch as well. Okay. On your next inhale, release your bind, kick your leg out. And exhale, come back into our tabletop. Let's spread our fingers wide, tuck your toes, and lift up and back into your downward facing dog. Good, let's inhale, come up onto your toes, look towards your fingers. Exhale, bend your knees, and then step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Then root your feet and inhale, rise all the way up. Look up towards your thumbs. And exhale, bring those hands down to your heart center and to your side in mountain pose. All right. We are going to make sure we're on railway tracks. So bring your feet a little bit wider, as wide as your hips. And then step your right foot back into a high lunge. So you're on your back toes. Bending into your front knee. Let's inhale. Reach up with your arms. And then exhale, relax your shoulders and sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. Good. So all the way from your back toes, you're finding length out through your hip flexor and then up into your fingertips. Maybe, if it feels good, you can bring your left hand to the back leg and lift up a little bit higher. Really feeling that stretch to the front side of your body. One more big inhale, and then exhale, this right arm finds the floor. Good. Inhale, left arm rises to the sky. Nice gentle twist. And exhale, stay here. One more big inhale. Reach up towards the sky. Then exhale, swim that left arm forward and start to lengthen through your front legs. So we're coming into a bit of a hamstring stretch here. We're going to move through our hip. So as you inhale, we're going to bend into our front knee. Look forward. Then exhale, lengthen that front leg and reach those hips back. Inhale, lunge forward. Exhale, shift back. One more time. Inhale, lunge forward. Then exhale, shift back. And this front leg, if the ground feels really far away, having a prop will help that. The higher the better, right? And we're simply gonna shift our left hip back a little bit to really get into those hamstrings. Nice deep breaths. You can have a nice bend to this leg if that's good for you. Good, and reach those arms forward, bend into your front knee, and step your back leg forward to meet your other foot in a forward fold. Couple breaths here. You have an option to bend your knees and just let your torso rest over your thighs. Good, and then everyone, add a little bend to your knee, and we're going to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time, no rush. The head comes up last, and rolling your shoulders back. You get to the top. All right, this time, left leg steps back. You're on those railway tracks again. Your back heel is off the ground. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, relax your shoulders and sink a little bit deeper into that knee. Feeling a stretch come to your hip flexor, that's the front part of your hip. If you did so on the other side, maybe your right arm finds the back of your back leg. And really reach up. So it's starting with your toes. Toes before toes, as my instructor always says. You're reaching from your back foot all the way up through your fingertips. Take a big inhale, reach a little higher. Then exhale, this left arm finds the ground. And inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Nice gentle twist. Exhale here. Then inhale, reach a little higher. And exhale, swing that right arm forward as you lengthen your right leg. It's going to shift forward and back again with our breath. So as you inhale, bend into your front knee and look up. Exhale, shift your hips back, lengthening through your front leg. Good. Inhale, come forward. Exhale back again, using a block or some kind of prop if you need to. Inhale, bring yourself forward. And then exhale, shift your right hip back. I can sometimes even take my right thumb, I'll put it in my hip crease here and just push that hip back a little bit, really finding length to that front leg. Every inhale, find a little bit more length in your spine. And every exhale, maybe find a little bit more depth into the shape. Using that prana, that life force, feel it flow through your body. Good. On your next inhale, bend into your front knee. And we're going to power up and step our back foot forward to meet your front leg. Come into a forward fold. And then bend your knees again. We're going to roll up nice and slow last time. Take your time as you reach yourself up. Roll your shoulders back. Okay, we're just going to do a little bit of balance here. All right, so let's shift our weight into our left foot. And let your right knee float up towards the sky. Give your knee a big hug. You can stay here. This is level 1. Level 2, take your peace fingers and you're going to reach around and grab your big toe. Then see if you can kick your leg out in front of you. Ooh, so whenever we do balance, you want to have nice, soft eyes focused on the spot, not moving. So holding on the wall or sort of just in front of you. Use that focal point for your balance. See if you got a little bit more length to the sky. And then start to release your foot if you have it. Without dropping your foot, we're going to actually see if we can grab our ankle this time and bring our foot back into a quad stretch. All right, in here, we're making sure our knees energetically squeeze together. So the last thing you want is your leg to start coming out to the side. Okay? See if you can flex your foot, push your foot into your hand, get a little bit more stretch in your quads. And next level, dancer's pose. If you want to give it a try, start to tip forward and kick that foot into your hand a bit more, maybe adding a bit of a back arch here if that feels okay in your body. Got it. Take one more breath. Exhale. And then inhale. Lowering your foot. Give yourself a little shake. Whew. All right, nice balance. No expectations. Coming into the other side. Spread your toes wide on the mat. Shift your weight into your right foot. And let your left knee float up towards the sky. Give your knee a nice hug. Option to stay here or take those peace fingers, grab around that big toe, and you kick your foot out in front of you. Try not to kick any laps in the room. Make sure your back is nice and long. Your supporting leg can be slightly bent. You got it. Find that focal point with your eyes, nice soft eyes, no laser dagger eyes. Good, and if you have your toe, we're going to start to bend our knee, release our toe, and everybody, see if we can reach back and grab our ankle this time, coming into our quad stretch. Making sure those knees are squeezing towards each other. They don't have to touch. We just don't want them to spread out. Okay? And flex your foot. Kick your foot into your hand for a bit more of a stretch. Stay here or come into dancer's pose. Start to tip forward, really kicking your foot into your hand. And this is adding a bit more of a back bend as well. Good. Adding a little bit of a bend to that supporting knee if you were in dancer's pose. Never locking your knees. Nice deep breaths here. One more big inhale. Exhale. And then as you inhale again, come up, relax your foot down, shake it out. Good work. And we are going to step back with our right foot into a warrior two stance this time. So your back foot's on a bit of an perpendicular. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a troublesome word for me today. Your front heel is intersecting your back foot and bend into that front knee. Arms reach forward and back. Relax those shoulders. Good. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. Ideally, one day you want this leg parallel to the floor. Finding equal weight down to the center between both legs here. Let's turn our front palm up. Inhale, reverse our warrior. Feel like you're lengthening through both sides of your torso. Maybe looking up towards your fingers. Good, and then inhale, lengthen that front leg. We're going to come forward into triangle pose. So you reach forward, and then hinging from your hip. You want to feel like you're hinging from your hip. You can bring your hand to your shin, lift up towards the sky. So one thing about triangle pose, or a couple of things, front knee stays slightly bent, again, right? Never hyperextend. And if you feel yourself rounding your back just to get your hand lower, that's just hard on your back. So it doesn't matter how low you go. What matters is your spine is straight and your legs are mostly straight. Okay? Good, and let's inhale, use your core, lift yourself up. We're gonna do something really fun. We're gonna come into a half moon. So if you have your block nearby, it's a good thing. I'm gonna shift my foot here so I don't go into my lap. We're gonna bend into this front knee and then lift our back leg off the ground. Coming into a half moon pose. So this is similar to what we did in our modified side plank earlier. Okay. You want your toes going sideways. Maybe that front arm reaches up towards the sky. Looking towards those fingers or down towards the floor. And you're open sideways to the wall. You got this. All right, one more breath. See if you can lift your leg a little higher. Then bend into that supporting leg and like a ninja, step your foot back into your warrior two. Woo, how are you doing? Let's lengthen through our front knee and turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Maybe even pigeon toe a little bit, if that's okay. Hands to hips. Let's inhale, open up through your chest. And exhale, lead with your chin, wide leg forward fold, come on down. Let your forehead start reaching towards the floor. Good. Inhale, bring those hands below your shoulders, bend your knees, hands to hips, and then exhale, bring yourself all the way up. And this time, we're just going to turn our right toes to face the back edge of our mat and bend into your right knee for a warrior two. So that front heel is intersecting, the back edge of your left foot is pressing firmly down to the floor. See if you can sink a little deeper into your right knee this time. Feel the strength in your foundation. And turning your front palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Finding length through both sides of your torso rather than just crunching into that left side. Good, and then lengthening through your front leg. Reach forward and come into our triangle. All right, so again, nice long spine. Feel the hip hinging in this way. Maybe your hand comes to your shin, or if you're quite open, your hand can even come down to the floor. Feel like you're between two panes of glass. Your heart shines up towards the sky. Okay, nice strong core. We're going to inhale, lift yourself up, and prepare for our half moon. So I'm just going to reach my foot back a little bit so I have a little more space here. Bend your front knee, power up, and let's lift our left leg up towards the sky, right arm to the ground. Hi, Rue. You've made an appearance tonight. Good. Maybe your left arm reaches up towards the sky as well. Really kicking into your foot. You've got this. Nice balance. You can do it. Take one more big inhale. See if you lift your foot a little higher. Woo. And then exhale like a ninja, watching out for furry creatures. Come back into your warrior two. There we go. Woo. Good. As we inhale, let's turn our toes towards that long edge of our mat. Hands to hips. And exhale, wide leg forward fold. Come on down. Good. This time we are going to walk our hands towards the left and bend into our left knee. Good. Finding nice stretch to the inside of your right leg. And then slowly start to walk your hands through center and come over to the right, bending into your right knee. We're going to do that both sides one more time. Option to come a little bit deeper into it. So as we start to come back through center, you can do what we just did, or maybe start to come into our ninja pose, turning your right toes up. Maybe your hands come to heart. If you can, see if your left heel is touching the ground. Whew. That's it. Awesome. Hands come down if they're up. And we're going to slowly, carefully walk ourselves back through center and come over to the right. Okay, maybe taking that ninja pose again. Nice deep breaths. Your breath is your barometer. If you start to notice it getting really choppy or then that's telling you you've gone a little too deep. And just come back to a nice gentle breath. Slowly bring those hands down. Walk yourself back through center. One more time, fold. And then we're slowly going to inhale, come halfway up, bend your knees slightly. Exhale, bring yourself all the way up. And then bring your feet to the top of your mat. And simply come into mountain pose. Feet together, hands by your side. Close your eyes. And let's take a moment to scan our bodies. How do we feel right now in this moment? Maybe noticing your heart beating in your chest. Or a change of energy since the beginning of class. Come back to your intention. And as you inhale, bring your hands behind your back. Open up through your chest. Exhale, stay here or add a forward fold if that feels okay in your body. Letting your arms hang over top, really opening up. And inhale, let your hands drop to your low back and everybody meet in a forward fold as you exhale. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, we're going to step back into a high lunge. Sorry, high plank. That's the word. All right. Nice and strong here. Take one more big inhale. And slowly lowering down to the floor. Maybe your knees come down first. Inhale, untuck your toes, and let's push up into one big cobra. So keeping your hips nice and low, relax your shoulders. See how high you can start to pull your heart forward, and then up. One more big inhale. Exhale, lower down. And simply make a pillow with your hands and let one of your cheeks just rest on the back of your hands. And let your hips shake outside to side. Take a moment here to melt down into the floor. Finding some rest after work. Because we have another back bend we are going to do. Bring yourself back to center. This time your hands come behind you. Option one is to stay in this airplane with your palms facing down. Or if you feel all right, you can interlace those fingers like we just did. And as you inhale, pull your hands back. Nice long neck reaching up to the sky. This can be a rather small movement. Your chest just barely off the floor. And if it feels okay, maybe lift your feet up as well. That's it. Use your nice strong back. Take one more big inhale. And then exhale, lowering everything down, making a pillow with your hands, and bring your other cheek down. And just relax here, maybe shaking those hips side to side. Let that go. And when you're ready, hands come below your shoulders, tuck your toes, and we're going to push back to our downward facing dog. Lift those hips nice and high. Two more breaths here. Then inhale, when you're ready, right leg high to the sky. Three-legged dog. We're going to bend our knee and open up our hips. See if you can bring your knee a little bit higher up. You're finding equal weight in both your hands. And then inhale, straighten that leg, square your hips. And exhale, bring your knee towards your nose and see if you can step your foot between your hands. Lower your back knee to the floor. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink those hips down. Good. So now really getting into our hip flexors here. You can have your hands on your thighs. That feels okay. And we're going to start to bring our hands to the inside of our front foot. And maybe even walk this front foot a little bit wider, as wide as your mat. Okay. Coming into our lizard pose. So maybe your hands start to walk forward. Maybe your elbows find the floor or a prop. And start to breathe into your hip. Listening to your body. What does it need right now? Remember, yoga is a feeling, not a shape. So never feeling pressured to do what you did yesterday or what you could have done a moment ago. Every moment is different. Everything changes. Start to walk your hands back under your shoulders if they're not there already. And then we are simply going to walk this front foot across to the other side of our mat and come into a pigeon pose. So option here to point your toe and tuck your foot in. You want your hips squared down towards the floor. Your back leg reaches nice and long. The top of your thigh towards the floor. You can start to walk your hands forward and maybe make a little pillow out of your fists for your forehead, or with a block or a pillow. And start to sink down. We'll have at least a minute here. Now, for some of you, this might bother your knee. You can always come onto your back into a figure four. If you're not feeling much, if you're quite open in the hips, you can also flex your foot and bring your front shin parallel with the top of your mat. So play around with that and see what feels okay in your body, making sure there's no pain in your knee. Use gravity, start to melt down. Breathing into any tight spots and giving it permission to let go. And when you're ready, you can stay here longer. Start to bring yourself up. So we're going to plant our hands, engage your back foot, and step back into your downward facing dog. Maybe giving your hips a little shake side to side. And then on your next big inhale, left leg rises high towards the sky, three-legged dog. Bend your knee and then open up through your hips. Keeping equal weight in both your hands, pressing your right heel firmly into the ground if you can, or towards the ground. And see if you lift your left knee up a little higher. Okay, let's inhale, straighten through your legs, square your hips. Then exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. Lift your hips high and step your foot between your hands. Lowering onto your back knee. And inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper into those hips. Bring your hands to your front thigh. Really opening up into those hip flexors. These are really important posture muscles that tend to get quite tight with a lot of sitting. So let's give them a little love right now, a little self-care. Give them some space to open and expand. Coming into our lizard pose, bring your hands to the inside of that front foot. Maybe even walking your front foot a little bit wider. And then start to bring yourself down with your breath, with intention. Maybe your hands reach forward. Maybe your elbows come to a prop or the floor. Start to just breathe into your hip, finding some space. We have a lot of emotions in our hips, so if you're starting to notice things bubble up, let it happen and let it go. We're going to slowly start to walk our hands back underneath our shoulders, and then bring our foot across to the other side to get ready for our pigeon pose. So you get an option to tuck that foot in, point your toe, and then square your hips to the floor. Trying to rotate the top of our back leg down towards the ground. or flex that front foot and bring your shin parallel to the top of your mat if you're hoping for that. And of course, always an option to come onto your back and come to a figure four. And start to walk your hands forward. Maybe your hands come to your fists stack on top of each other or onto a pillow or a prop. Just let your head relax down. Let gravity do the work. And simply surrender to the shape. Breathing in nourishing oxygen to any tight spots. And release them. Again, you can stay here for as long as you want. And start to walk ourselves back up. Come onto your left hip, and you can bring your legs forward into a seat. And we're simply going to just let our legs windshield wiper side to side. Let go of anything in your hips. Good. And come onto your back. We're going to hug our knees into our chest. Give yourself a big squeeze and a little rock side to side, massaging out your low back. Good. And then making a T shape with your arms. I don't have a lot of space here, but reach them up. And we're just going to let our knees fall over to one side, maybe right side. And see if you can keep both your shoulders on the floor. So that's a little bit more important than your knees finding the floor. So you can really open up through your chest here. A nice, gentle supine twist. If you have a bit more space and you want to open up a little deeper, this bottom leg can reach nice and long. And you can twist a little bit deeper here. So up to you. Keep them stacked or not. Maybe you're looking over towards your outstretched arm. Sinking down. And slowly looking back towards center, we're going to carefully bring our knees back through center and then over to the other side. Again, keeping them stacked, or maybe reaching that bottom leg nice and long for a deeper twist. We'll start to press both your shoulder blades to the ground and look towards your outstretched arm for a nice gentle twist all the way up from your sacrum up through your neck. What can you relax? What can you let go of? And slowly start to bring your gaze back up to the sky and let your knees come up. And your last shape is yours before we come into Shavasana. Anything that you feel you still need. And if nothing comes to mind, then my offering to you is supine butterflies. So letting those feet come together, knees come wide, and you can bring both hands to your belly. This is a great shape for balancing out your pelvis. And simply breathe into your hands, feel your belly rise and fall. Notice where you're holding tension and just give it permission to let go. Notice if your jaw is clenched and just let it relax. Let your shoulders melt down into the floor. And feel free to stay here longer, or I invite you to come into our final shape, our Shavasana. So your knees can come together slowly and then lengthen your legs nice and long. Let your feet fall outwards as your hips relax. Take up space with your arms. All the work is done. Now you just bask in the afterglow of our practice. The world needs your gifts. Take this time to really feel supported by Mother Earth below you. You already have everything that you need. Mm-hmm. Return to your breath. Return to your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms overhead for a big full body stretch. And gently hug your knees into your chest. And roll onto one side for a moment before finding yourself into a seated position. Bring your hands to your beautiful heart. Just take a moment to think of one thing you're truly grateful for. And thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you had a good practice, and thanks for your patience with the technical difficulties. And I'll just do this.